Hello everybody, welcome back to Let's Play Hearts of Iron 4, Kaiserreich guys, the Qing. Let us continue on for the last of the off. So, essentially, all of China's collapsing right now. The Imperial Navy flees north. Lacking any suitable ports in the north, the Imperial fleet has been based out of Nanting since the end of 1927 conflict. With rioting, civil unrest, and general chaos enveloping the city, Admiral Wu Renli has ordered a fleet to leave the city and head north to small ports to be controlled outside Chaiyun. The fall of Nanjing docks also means that we have lost what limited naval manufacturing capabilities we had. Very cool. Do we only have one naval base now? Yes. Excellent. Excellent. So the offer from Marshal Qi. Let me just take a quick gander again at my notes. Qi can handle this on his own. Okay, so we gotta take this option. Following our refusal channel of our Governor Chen's telegram, a message that arrived from Shiyun, who has declared himself the new League Marshal of the 8 provinces, succeeding son Chao Fang. To the most suspicious Marshal Wu I Shiyun, request your aid in suppressing rebellion at Anhai. As you are my liege and commander, it is only proper that you assist me in my times of need. Though the request leaves many suspicious, as theoretically Qi should have be able to easily crush Anqing and the Khanty rebellion to the south, with German aid. He can handle this on his own. He definitely cannot handle this on his own, by the way. And by that should mean now, I don't think we haven't intervened in the League collapse quite yet, but I guess the League hasn't also collapsed yet. Emergency meeting in the Zili. Following the collapse of the League to the south, we've gathered nearly all senior Zili-aligned military officials in Leyang. As the meeting starts, Marshal Wei Pufu opened with a short statement. Fellow soldiers, the time has come. With the collapse of the League, we are for the first time since the Zhifang War in a precarious situation. Every choice we make over the next few weeks will determine the outcome of China for decades to come. I like to remind some, he says, glancing at the more hawkish members of the assembly, that intervention is not necessarily the most sound course of action. We need to weigh our options first before committing. The British general is not in agreement and began a series of discussions on the best course of action. Yeah, ripples of Black Monday. While in the weeks following Black Monday, it appears that we have escaped the worst of the damage. Over the last few days, German-affiliated businesses have been hit with supply chain issues and increased prices. While the economic disruption is nowhere near the scale experienced in Europe and the Americas, it is still a blow to our economy. 150, that is not a big deal at all. And I think that actually gets rid of a little bit of German backing as well. So how much does that affect you? Well, I guess we'll find out in a moment. The illusion of Qing hegemony shatters. The facade of Qing unity, having held for nearly a decade, has begun to crumble. Rising unrest in the League of 8 provinces, the economic shock of Black Monday, portending German re-entrenchment, and the inability of our national government to deliver a decisive response to either, has made one thing clear. Beijing monopoly on power is broken, and now the future of any man's game. World tension increased by 2. But after 24 hours, you're now down to 6%. So we're losing political power, but we gain supply cap, which actually it's not that incredible. I mean, it's nice and all, but let's encourage domestic production. There we go. While most of China and the world assumes that the Kuomintang were destroyed in 1920, League Marshal Sun has been fighting a low-intensity guerrilla conflict with the remnants of the KMT in the Fujian area since that time. Reports were censored in front of the press, and even Wu Pufu remained largely unaware of the true scope of the conflict, with Sun keeping all detail tightly under wraps. With the current chaos in the League, however, the remnants of the KMT have re-emerged and declared a new campaign of national reunification. They have announced our rightful government as illegitimate, calling us little more than a German puppet, slaves to the whim of Berlin. We can only hope that remnants of Sun's forces can put these traitors down. Okay, so left KMT have decided to show up. More countries will declare their independence very, very soon. And southern governors cut contact. With the violence of the League escalating daily, the governors of Yunnan and Guangdong, Tang Zhiyun and Chen Jiaoming have stopped responding to official government requests for information, updates on what is happening in their territory. They have long despised their government, and while this move is not unexpected, it represents a complete change in their official demeanor with their government. Many in Wu's inner circle fear that this heralds a complete collapse of our authority, and this morning, news out of the Shaanxi confirms these worries. Yan Xishan, Governor of Shaanxi, has officially denounced the action of our government, what has now been termed the Yangtze incident earlier this week. When Governor Wang Haixing's forces fired upon a mob of refugees and proclaimed that Qing no longer has the capacity to rule China. He stopped just short of recognizing the defending government, but it's clear the national order is breaking down. So is anybody actually aligned with us? The Nanjing clique is still Xiaodong clique, Szechuan, Ma clique. I mean, we still have a few people that are nominally aligned with us. We'll see how long that actually lasts, though. Also, I never even turned off Fog of War. There we go. So, Blue Army. I mean, Blue Army, you just kind of stay where you're at for now. Li Guang breaks free. Ling Guang, a coalition of two of the former 8 provinces of the Eponymous League, has succeeded in both the agglomeration and our regime as a whole this morning. Under the command of the scholar bureaucrat Chen Jiaoming, backed by the warlord Lu Ronting, the provinces declared a government wholly legitimate, promises a swift end to the autocratic and arrested. And why can I not pronounce this word? I know what this word is. They don't like us, basically. Okay, Hunan cliques also succeeded. Widespread riots are breaking out. Following Wu and Chao's silence of the LEP's related affairs, all protests began to emerge, clamoring for intervention. As the silence continued, these gatherings quickly grew in large-scale protests, with Chao finally announcing that he would support neither Qing nor Chen. The protests erupted into riots. Beijing and other major cities are paralyzed with unrest, and nearly everyone, from the rich and intellectual to the poor street vendor in the streets, announcing the government. Adding fuel to the fire are wild conspiracy theories that Wu has paid off by German legation not to intervene, leading many demonstrators to carry anti-German slogans and burn German-made goods. In one instance, crude effigies of the Kaiser, Wu, and Chao were all burned outside the Forbidden City, where the perpetrators were hauled away in chain. X, very good. We're at negative 174 political power. The stability's at 9%. Also great. We're going to deal with the unrest. 140 days. Damn. Hunan has succeeded from the League. Hunan province has fallen under the sway of Sun Chaofeng during the Chaos Fall in 1927 Northern Expedition. With Governor Zheng Haoti reassuming control of the province after the brief period of KMT rule, a longtime ally of Wu, Zhao has been the governor of the region since 1920. However, he also has ties to the federalist government in Guangdong, tacitly supporting the federal model. As of now, he's taken a strict neutral stance, torn between his personal friendship with Wu and his political loyalties to Chen Jiaoming. His neutrality cannot last long, however, as these clouds are beginning to circle around his rule in the province. Well, I mean, you should be friends with me, right? I mean, if we can get the Laoguang clique to maybe just collapse ever so slightly, because I know they can have a civil war. They can have a military government, which would be pretty nice. Civil war in Sichuan. Sichuan province, long plagued with overpopulation and food shortages, has erupted in civil war. Ever since the 1927 restoration, Yang Sen, a close personal friend and ally of Wu Pufu, has ruled the province. But in the last few years, his control has begun to slip. Various other factions, loyal to the Fenian regime, Kuomintang remnants, and isolationists loyal only to themselves, began to consolidate power, and used the collapse of the League as the perfect moment to launch attacks on Yang's now shaky government. Yang has yet to read out for direct aid, preferring to hide the scope of the unrest, but Wu expects his old friend to come knocking for help any day. Can I do anything with them? Pick any of the coup backers. Don't expose the coup. Yang Sen requests support. I don't know. I'm going to save here again because I don't know if this matters. Dire news is coming from Chengdu. The tenuous peace in the region fell apart not long after the troubles of the League of Eight Provinces reached the boiling point. Greatly diminishing the influence of the Sichuanese leader Yang Sen, the internal divisions of the clique have escalated into open conflict, with Shaoqing warlord Liu Jiang, leader of the Industrial Corps with a massive force in manpower and firepower alike, begun to march on Yang's forces. For now, at least, Yang's allies in Baoding department under Deng Xiao's remain, but even that is all uncertain as the situation spirals further out of control with every passing day. With the current chaos in Sichuan, it cannot be ruled out that the prolonged conflict where both sides exhaust their strengths could lead to the remnants of the KMT under Liu Chao seizing the moment to reverse their old misfortunes. As if that wasn't enough, persistent droughts have hit hard as Sichuan's already struggling people. With disaster looming, our old friend Yang has reached out to us, pleading that we offer any support we can muster. While the consequences of a defeat of Yang could prove severe for us in the future, we also have our own crisis in the light of the situation in Nanqing. And does this matter? According to this person who posted this comment 3 years ago, it doesn't. Manpower, political power. I mean, we already have no political power. Spend it. Okay, Chu Yingguang asked Qing for support against the riots. After the magistrate in Beijing arrested the vile warlord Zheng Xiaocheng, they're assigned to gather a report on his crimes for the persecution. It therefore came as a surprise when new governor Xiaodong, Yu Yingguang, sent a copy of the witness accounts directly to the emperor. These eyewitness accounts not only condemn Zheng Xiaocheng further, but points strongly towards the ongoing instability of Shandong as a result from Zheng Xiaochan's regime. Qiu Yingguang has used this as heavily implied that the further military assistance is needed to secure Shandong from Beijing. We are inclined to assist Qiu Yingguang once again, save for the numerous other very important issues of our Germandre that the Chief of the Army has already planned out. What are we to do? We can send a division, 8,000 manpower. We have so much manpower to send them. Nicholas has taken over Australia. Military seized power in Mexico. So the Entente loses Australia, but they do gain Mexico, which I think is probably a fair deal. Australia, they might have like a counter coup. We'll wait and see on that. How's the rest of the world doing, by the way? Russian Social Republic. I mean, they're basically programmed to win. Like, they're giving so many advantages over you. Economic depression, political instability. I mean, I guess they have a negative 3% organization, but they should just have more units. Like, how many troops do you guys have? 15 to 47, 27 to 83. Russia should win. Okay, first International Congress. The Limburg of the East. A young pilot named Sun Taoguang has earned a great renown for flying across Eurasia to discuss himself by aircraft. With the recent upheavals within our league, he has volunteered to serve our nation as a pilot, destroying our enemies from the skies. Originally based in Nanjing, he has fled the chaos currently enveloping the city for our territory in his small little plane. Excellent. I mean, we do have a small air force. The symbols here are a little bit screwed up. I don't know why. Probably because maybe that mod's not updated. Yeah, so let's add in... You're not... Okay, you need to be in this private plane. There you go. So what are you? Max airspeed, air agility, just generic... Or air attack. Fantastic. We have like 75 aircraft, which is not bad. We saw like super good, but it's not the worst either. So when you got the Nanjing clique, they might end up surviving. I don't know. Lessons of the coup attempt. A new constitution. A coup to overthrow Zili clique has failed. Future of the Zili clique. Okay, we want the Manchu restoration, which actually gives us an entire new focus tree. The Whispers of Discontent. In the weeks following Wu's decision not to intervene in the LEP collapse, small groups from across the political spectrum have begun to gather in secret. Initially limited to criticizing Wu's inaction, the worsening violence in the streets had led many to begin to revolt. Social networks between these groups have allowed for a shaky coalition to develop, compromised of Manchu nobles, cadets of the Baoding Academy, reformers of the NCERA, and some Zili generals annoyed at Wu's inaction. This loose group has begun to speak condensedly with one or another to plot to overthrow Wu and restore the emperor to some degree of power. Yes, we got a new pope. Okay, we don't care about any of you. I don't care about any of you right now either. We could integrate Shang-Chi, because apparently it's actually not even a core. Well, actually, we cannot do that because we actually need to own more of the country. Okay, families have broken out in Szechuan. Is there anything... I mean, what can we do right now? What did your upgrade, actually? Aggressive Assaulter, breakthrough plus 10%, boom, done. Attack plus 1, organization move. Have these changed? I feel like aggressive. I feel like you're different. A clandestine meeting in a basement of a shady Beijing bar, traditionally used to cover for revolutionary activities. A strange coalition of individuals dedicated to overthrowing Wu Pufu and his rule over China has gathered. First, the Puupi, the emperor's brother and the general of the army, one of the few non-Zili generals allowed to command a significant number of troops. Next to him sits YC James Yen, a leading intellectual and the head of the NCERA. Across from him sits Feng Jijian and Li Bin, two Baoding cadets, scarcely older than 25. Final member of the meeting is Zili General Li Bingzi, a monarchist. BZ claims to have assembled a coalition of Zili generals disgruntled with Wu's inaction over the last few months. Realizing that they're unable to beat the Zili clique on their own, with the limited military resources, the plotters decide to ask the leader of the neighboring warlord for assistance. After much deliberation, they choose. We can go with Shang-Chi, or we can go with Xiaodong. I mean, how many units do you guys have? 3 to 15. I guess we'll go with the Shang-Chi. Okay, once again, does this matter? Pick any of the coup backers available. Do not back the coup. Okay. Let's go with Shang-Chi. I think I'd rather have Shang-Chi as an ally, because, I mean, this terrain will be a pain in the ass to ever invade in the future. And that's from experience. It sucks invading Shang-Chi. Governor Yan's response. Marshal Yan has replied to our request, and while he's interested in helping, he says he can only do so much if the coup plotters convince him. The Marshal is well known to be humble and illustrious man who wants the best for his people, though an offer of personal power may also be attractive to him. We want reforms. Okay, we're going to do another save here. Let's modernize China and the monarchy. Okay, you've taken control of Sichuan. Brave news, sires. It appears Liu Jian has defeated our ally in Sichuan. Very cool. So who are you aligned with then? Sichuan is unaligned at the moment. Shang-Chi is unaligned. I mean, Anqing, you know, you actually managed to defeat, you know, you're actually doing pretty well for yourself, all things considered. Are you still aligned with us? I mean, you are. Yan accepts. Marshal Yan has accepted the coup plotter's request for aid. He agrees that he will deploy his troops should the Zili clique not fully be destroyed in the coup. At the same time, however, he has probably demanded concession once Puupi has been restored to his proper position. Do you think he's going to ask for Eastern Shang-Chi? Quite possible. Okay. Don Kubin has been destroyed. How many more days do we have for you? Ominous troop movements. Unusual troop movements have been reported from Shang-Chi province over the last few days. It appears that the troops are preparing for some sort of military action on our border. With our informants reporting that supplies and equipment are being stockpiled up near the mountain passes of Shang-Chi, Governor Yan Shishan was our enemy just a few years ago during the Fourth Zeifang War. And an attack on him from him in a turbulent time to try and regain his lost lands would not be out of character. So we can spy on him. Do not spy on him. We have more pressing matters to attend to. And if I'm not mistaken, that should be good enough. And that should get us to Manchu Restoration. Armament Department seek asylum. Civil war in Sichuan has ended, and our allies in the Rearmament Department were defeated by the Industrial Corps. Fleeing possible retribution by Li Zheng, the leaders of the former ruling clique in Sichuan have arrived, seeking to serve our armed forces, with the hope that one day perhaps returning to their home province. Sichuan clique joined. Yeah, we'll do this one, I guess. Does that give me generals? I'm honestly not too sure exactly what you've done for us. Mongolian aristocrats have taken Mongolia. Australia has declared war on New Zealand. And New Zealand might end up joining the Entente, we'll see. Which will lead to an Entente-Australian war. But typically the Entente doesn't actually land troops in... they don't typically land troops in Australia. Yeah, they join the Entente. You'll see a civil war between the two of them break out shortly. Surprisingly, Finland didn't actually get involved in the Russian Civil War. They usually... Is Ethiopia a different color? Did they update Ethiopia's color in the By Blood Alone Kaiserreich update? I think so. That's not the same color. And I don't think I'm going crazy. Okay, we'll take Concentrate Industry 1. Mysterious occurrence. Breaking news, it appears that over the last few days, anti-Zili and anti-German pamphlets have been discovered distributing amongst our troops. When asked where they received this from, none of them were able to give a straight answer, with both saying it just appeared overnight. Even more worrying, several Zili generals have dropped out of contact with Liang over the last few hours, notably including Li Bingji, whose monarchist sympathies were well known. Even worse, Baoding's military academy appears to have been abandoned overnight, and communication with far-flung parts of the empire have been interrupted due to widespread radio and telephone outages. Okay, so there's going to be a vote over here. We don't care. Let's boycott the Germans even more. They now have 1% influence. So again, we're not really getting... I mean, we're getting a 0.5% boost while losing 0% political power gain. That's honestly about as good as you can get it. Qiu Yingguang sent a lifeline to Beijing. The province of Xiaodong's foe in the confusion has lifted a man and has emerged. Qiu Yingguang. Qiu is responsible for alerting the magistrate to Zhang Xiaoyang's illegal and inexclusive crimes in Xiaodong and is appointed governor in thanks. Governor Qiu Yingguang cited the rebellions that are holding back Xiaodong, pleading before the Qing government to help restore order. Fears that a province may yet be lost to another upstart warlord or lost to the KMT abound. Surely the Qing would not allow another province to fall away from them. Get a guarantee with you. I don't think that matters. This isn't exposing the, we'll get a governor with sense. And I think with that, with the coup boiling at Shang-Chi, this would be a good time for us to end this episode. So thanks everybody for watching. My name is Ansel. If you enjoyed, thumbs up. Not enjoying, thumbs down. You want to see more, subscribe, and goodbye.